Okay, now what is weak axiom of reveal preference? This is one of the most important recording as far as reveal preference is concerned. See, assumingly consumer has preferences and he is a utility maximizing consumer. Okay, and he's always choosing a utility maximizing bundle. Now, what would ensure that? The question is that what would ensure that consumer is following maximization model? Okay, what would ensure, what kind of an axiom, what kind of axioms we have to impose which will ensure that he or she is always following the maximization model? Now, supposedly, let me just give you an example of several preferences. Okay, supposedly, if I give you an example like this, okay, say here it is X and here it is Y, okay, and this guy here, say which with some preferences. Okay, now supposedly, let me just put it with some other color. Now I'm this consumer and I'm choosing X1, Y1. Fine. And I'm rejecting this in favor of, sorry, I'm rejecting X2, Y2 in favor of X1, Y1. Okay. I could have consumed X2, Y2, but I'm choosing X1, Y1. Clear? One is this. Nothing wrong until here. Now supposedly what happens is that now I'm choosing X2, Y2. Okay. Can I afford X1, Y1? No, I can't afford X1, Y1. So there is no problem. So this consumer is a utility maximizing consumer. There is no problem with this. See, I was consuming X1, Y1 when X2, Y2 was affordable. One is this. But when I choose X2, Y2, X1, Y1 was not affordable. There is no problem with this. Okay, let me give you an example. Supposedly you go in a market and you said this, that what are the prices of Coke and Pepsi? Okay, Coke is say for $5 and Pepsi is say for $4. Okay, you could have consumed Pepsi, okay, but you took Coke. Fine. Now in some other situation what happened was you are choosing Pepsi when Coke is not affordable. Okay. Now in some other situation at some other prices, what happened is that the price of Pepsi is say 7 and price of Coke has increased to 9. You just have a budget of 7. Okay. So you've chosen Pepsi. In the earlier situation, you have chosen Coke over Pepsi. But in the other situation, Pepsi is chosen when Coke is not affordable. That is fine. There is no problem with this. Supposedly, in case, if you were choosing Coke at say 5 when price of Pepsi was 4, fine, so you have chosen Coke over Pepsi. In some other situation, what happened was that price of Pepsi has increased to 6, okay, and price of Coke is also 6, something, okay. You cannot choose Pepsi now. Coke is affordable, okay. Coke is available to you, fine. You have already preferred your choices of Coke over Pepsi. Now in some other situation, when both of these are affordable, you cannot choose Pepsi. You have to choose Coke. Fine? No problem with this. Let me just show you in terms of a diagram how it will look like. Okay, how it will look like. So let me just, should I erase it somehow, or should I make a new diagram? I guess I should make a new diagram. So let me just make a new diagram. Okay. Okay. Here it goes. And this is one budget line. Clear. And say this is another budget line. Clear. Now I place my bundles like this. Here it is my X, here it is Y. Okay, let me just place my bundles. Okay, this is X1, Y1. And let me just put my second bundle here, X2, Y2. Fine. Okay. Now what this diagram is trying to show, it is trying to show you this. Say X1, Y1 is chosen when X2, Y2 is affordable. No problem with this. X1, Y1 is chosen when X2, Y2 is affordable. There is no problem with this. Okay, X2, Y2 is within this yellow budget set, this yellow budget line. So X2, Y2 was affordable, but X1, Y1 is chosen. Clear? In case if you follow this white budget line, what it is trying to say, it is trying to say X2, Y2 is chosen when X1, Y1 is affordable. Okay, X2, Y2 is on this white budget line, and this X1, Y1 is within this white budget line. So it is affordable. Now this is a problem. You cannot have this kind of a situation. Okay, this is not a maximizing consumer. Okay, so because his choices are not consistent. He's trying to say this: at some prices, he has chosen Coke over Pepsi, and in some other situation, by situation I mean prices, in some other prices, he's chosen Pepsi over Coke. His preferences are not consistent. You need to have consistency in your preferences. Okay. In case if this would have been, in case if where should I keep this? Where should I keep this X2, Y2? Okay, for this to be not a problematic situation. Can I keep it here? Say X2, Y2 here. I haven't told you anything about warp yet. I'm just telling you the situations. Okay. Can I keep this X2, Y2 here? When X1, Y1 is chosen, X2, Y2 is not affordable. That is right. There is no problem within this. You have not chosen. So there are, in some situation, what happened was the price of Coke was 5, price of Pepsi was 7. Since you cannot afford Pepsi, you have not chosen Pepsi, and you said this, that you are choosing Coke. That's fine. Okay. In some other situation, Okay. Now is this fine? Your x2, y2, in case if it is here. Now when you're choosing x2, y2, x1, y1 is affordable. Okay. This is not violating WAP. There's no problem with this, because earlier when you were choosing x1, y1, x2, y2 was not affordable. Now when you're choosing x2, y2, x1, y1 is affordable. There is no problem with this. Okay. We can also go along with the different cases. The only thing which you have to understand is that when you're choosing x1, y1, okay, when x2, y2 is affordable, it should not be the case that you're choosing x1, x2, y2 when x1, y1 is also affordable. Okay, so let me just put it more formally for you. One is that this kind of consumer, just forget about this. This kind of consumer, x1, y1 and x2, y2, this kind of a consumer cannot be a maximizing consumer. Okay, so if consumers are choosing the best things they can afford, then the things that is the things which are affordable but not chosen, it must be worse than what is chosen. Okay, so let me just put it more formally. If x1, y1 is directly revealed preferred to x2, y2, okay, and x1, y1 is not equal to x2, y2, that is, two bundles are different, fine, then it can't happen that x2, y2 is directly revealed preferred over x1, y1. Okay, so in the terminology in which you have done, say x1, y1 and x2, y2 are two bundles, prices are p1, p2. Okay, since you are choosing x1, y1, so this expression should hold. Sorry, y1. At some other prices, say q1, q2, okay, if this is the condition, okay, if this is the condition, then it cannot be the case. It can't be the case that now you're choosing x1, y1. Okay, so this is the case. This is your weak axiom of reveal preference. If you're saying this, that if x1, y1 is directly reveal preferred to x2, y2, then it cannot be the case, okay, that x2, y2 becomes directly reveal preferred to x1, y1.